Welcome everybody. My name is Renee Sanford, and I am the project manager for the Key Bridge Business Recovery Program. This is what we consider to be our build back sessions. This is navigating recovery together. A lot of these programs that we're bringing to you guys are things that when Ken and I had our meeting with you or interview with you, these are things that you guys talked about. So this is one of them, was the MDOT application and being able to do that. A lot of you guys, were not MDOT certified and wanted to be. So this is one of those classes that we brought to you. Just so you know, again, this is going to be recorded. And also, as we're going through this process, please stop the speaker. Her name is Sonia Hopkinson. Please stop her and ask questions as we go through the process. Okay. Again, have your computers and stuff ready to start with your application if you're going to do so. Um, Again, ask questions as we move. And also, the goal is by the time we finish, is that you'll be able to submit your application. That's the goal. Okay. So we're going to move through this really quickly because, time's of the essence. So I will share all of the updates and all that toward the end. So Ken, you want to do the intro to the speaker?
Sure. Renee, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kenneth Clark. I'm the project consultant working with Renee on the capital on the Key Bridge Business Recovery Program. This program is designed to support businesses that had been impacted by the Key Bridge collapse in 2024. Many of you, and we're going to be around, looks like, for a while. Uh, Give a little support to the governor when you get a chance to support him trying to be sure that the bridge gets restored on
Yes.
schedule in 2028, um, uh, provided no one does anything untoward with regard to the funding that you may be hearing about in the news. So let's give our Governor Wes Moore all of our moral support and if necessary, a little written support to your Congress people to be sure that they keep on the president, he doesn't move the funds away. But our primary purpose here today, as Renee just said, as we met with you and talked with you and did our assessments of you, we indicated the importance of certification. We talked about two certifications primarily. One is the certification with the CRMSDC, the Capital Region Minority Supplier Development Council, and the other was our sponsor, and the other was for the state of Maryland. The state of Maryland has one of the best minority business programs in the country, and that is because we had the benefit of a man who just recently passed, Anthony Robinson, who was the leading expert in the minority business legislation and court cases to help guide the program in the state of Maryland, such that it avoided all of the problems that many other states had with regard to cases. And we have today a person who is not a rocket scientist, but the next best thing, a nuclear scientist, uh, who will talk to you about certification with the state of Maryland. Sonia Hopkins is the CEO of Sage Services Group, LLC, a professional services firm. And for the last 15 years, she has been providing training, human capital, engineering, and project management services for more than 20 government and commercial clients. Over the last 15 years, she has provided guidance on mission critical projects that have propelled organizations to optimal operational performance and sustained organizational effectiveness. So she is the person that you want to be listening to today. Sonia we just talked about her background. She went to Norfolk State University as a degree in physics, which is why she's in that area of nuclear. Then she went to mechanical engineering and also has a MS degree in leadership, in educational leadership and administration. So she is well qualified to speak with us about what we're going to talk about today, and that is certification with the state of Maryland. She has a commitment for mentoring, and she has been helping to prepare future leaders for some time in a group called DECA, which is designed to support entrepreneurship within the school system. And she's also on the board of American Institute of Aerospace and Aeronautics and Bonafu Learning. I didn't know. I missed seeing that earlier. Um, Bonafu. Anyway, she is a great person. She is also head of the councils, the Minority Supply Development Councils, um, Minority Business Input Committee, which means that she represents all the minority businesses in the state of Maryland with the board and leadership of the Capital Region Minority Supply Development Council. So she is well versed and well ready to help you understand what you need to do to get certified with the state of Maryland so you can get your license to hunt for contracts in the state of Maryland. So I will turn it over to you, Sonia Hopkins.
All right. Thanks so much, Ken and Renee, for having me and for reading that, you all for enduring the reading of my bio. It has been a journey. It has been 15 years. And that, we've been in the government contracting space, both federal, state, and local. So I'm not somebody who slept at a Holiday Inn Express that can tell you about these certifications. It did it the first time, have to do it every year. And we've been actually working with the Baltimore Metropolitan Women's Business Center since COVID, helping other women-owned businesses get their certification done. So one of the first things I like to ask you to do, and Renee did ask early on, can you all please put your name and the name of your company and a little bit of the information, just a real brief sentence or two about your company in the chat? I love networking. And so while I want to hear what you all do, I want to see what you do so that we can make sure that this session remains relevant for you. So I'm going to ask, put up your hand or you can unmute and say it if you have any certifications for your business right now. Does anybody have any certifications?
We do,
Okay.
but not in Maryland. It's Virginia.
Okay. So Tamika, you're in the SWAM program?
Yes, SWAM. Yes. And then we have the MBE through Capital.
Through the Capital Region. Awesome. Awesome.
Mhm.
Cherie, am I saying it right? I was like, it's either Sherry or Cherie.
It's Sherry.
Sherry.
We're certified through WeBank, we're CBE, and we're also MBE as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, good, good. So, and Felicia, I see you have your hand up, and Tiana, you all have yours as well.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
With Baltimore City, MBE and WBE.
Okay, Baltimore City. Good, good, good.
We're CBE and DC, and we are going through the process for MBE with Capital and women's business as well. We're going through that process.
So we bank one. Okay. Well, for all of you all if you have any of those certifications, what you are is about 50% through everything that I'm going to talk about today. And hopefully what I share with you will be just ways to continue to keep it up and maintain it. For those of you all that don't have one, all right. I sent my request to share my screen, Renee. I forgot to ask that when we were getting ready.
Sorry about that. Got you done.
You're good. You're good. So the key, but before we even get in there, welcome to all of you all who are CRMSDC MBEs. I expect to see you on the first Friday and second Tuesday of the months when we have our events and activities, because that is where you can get involved and really learn about like partnering with other people. We bring in corporate members to talk about the things that they're buying. We're going to have someone coming to speak to us from the hospitality industry. We're going to have someone coming to speak to us they're out of Alexandria, but Maryland, DC, and Virginia have a sustainability funding they have available. So if your business has it or is looking to do some work in that area, or you've got projects that you can bring about that have to do with sustainability, at our next meeting on September the 5th, they're going to come and talk to you about how to get money for your business by going through the sustainability, looking at some sustainability projects. So with that, I'm going to get into the purpose of the matter. As soon as I find out where my screens are. Share. Yeah, I'm going to just do the whole desktop. All right, so today we're going to just kind of go through this whole get ready, get certified. Does it look weird? Can you see the multiple slides or you just see the one?
Multiple.
All right, I don't like this version. Ended. Okay, we'll just do it that way. Thank you to Ken and Renee and Sharon in her absence. This Build Back program, they mentioned what this project is, what it's going to do, and how it's going to be able to help you and your businesses be able to grow. So please, this is one of many webinars that they are going to be having. So get in and get the information so that you can use them for your business. This is not a lecture. I'm not here to talk about theory. We're here to actually help you get some work done and get your certification done. And I'm going to hit it with about 4 things. 1, you need to be organized. 2nd, you need to get ready. Then you need to go ahead and get online. We're going to get into that. And then be able to get yourself across the finish line. Renee and Ken gave me a strong goal. Like, how many can you get certified today? I can get you certified if you're already organized and you're ready. I can get you well on the road if you just get yourself organized, and I will make myself available to anybody after the call if you want to talk through some of the documents and things that you need to get together. So the first thing I always talk about is get organized. So if you've got your computer and you're on here because you should have your computer. I want you to go into whatever your file folder is, and I want electronic filing system, and I want you to create one folder and call it certifications. And once you create that folder called certifications, I want you to then create a folder and call it MDOT. For Maryland Department of Transportation, create a folder for that one. Once you create that folder, I'm going to drop a link in the chat for you that I want you to go to this link and open it up, because this is the application for you to complete your MDOT certification. Mine from over there back over here. So once you get those 2 folders and then you click on that link, I need you to give me a thumbs up so I know that we're all on the same page. And I'll keep right on rolling. Got 1. And I see 2. If you ladies let me know when I get most of my thumbs up. Okay, I think I saw a couple of other ones go up. Is anybody having any issues with the information, either the link I dropped in the chat or creating your file folders?
I'm just cutting and pasting. So it's
Gotcha.
from extension link, right? That you sent. That's the main one that you want us to get into. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give you, it's going to be 4 by the time we're done, but I like to work with each document kind of individually.
Okay, so someone is saying that they can't copy the link in the chat.
Yeah, I have a Mac, so I'm having a hard time too.
Okay. Let's see. How can I help you with this? Renee, if I send you the link, actually, let me take you to a place and you might be able to get to it yourself. So there is a link I'm going to give you for the Maryland Department of Transportation's website. But if I drop it in the chat, you still might not be able to get it.
Okay, good. I'm not alone. I see it's all the
Okay.
Mac users.
We're all-
Lessons learned.
And here's what's funny. I'm on a Mac and I was like, oh, maybe I can do it, but you can't send it. Let me figure that part out.
Yeah. At one time you could do it. Mac changed something that doesn't allow it now. I'm not sure why.
All right, well, let me put this one up so I can show you where I'm starting from. The Maryland Department of Transportation, if you were to just go into the Google and type MDOT DBE, it's going to take you to this home page here. I am down in the home page from go to certifications, and then that's where this information starts. So you want to bookmark this link that I just put in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bookmark that, and then you'll be able to launch from each one. Thank you all for letting me know that. MDOT has done a great job over the years. This process used to be all paper. So when I got my certification in 2011, I had to print all of this stuff out, put it in a 3-ring binder, drive it down there to their office, which is across from the rental car location by the airport. It used to be nothing there but trees. So I've been in this since Captain Crunch was a private. So we had to take all of this stuff down there to them. And I'm so thankful for what they have done. And they continue to do workshops, and they have the certification assistance workshops because I want to give them their kudos for what they do. The problem is they don't have enough staff to provide one-on-one. So they partner with organizations like CRMSDC, the project that Ken and Renee are doing. They partner with them because we become the arms and hands that they don't have enough people to do. So if you bookmark this particular website and you click on the link here for number 1 called the Uniform Certification Application. If you do not hold a certification in any other state, and I'm going to come back and tell you guys that already have them what you're going to do because you actually got a little cheat code. I want you all to print this out. Oh no, Sonia, you got me killing trees. Trust and believe you're going to thank me for killing these trees because the application process is all online. And I encourage people to print it out and fill in all the blanks so that you can have what you need before you get online because the system will time out on you. You might have to start over. It just becomes a huge pain in the butt. And my goal is to get you through the certification process. So walking through the application really quickly, you're applying for a DBE unless you have a service that can be provided as an airport concession. That's tchotchkes, that's food, that's souvenirs, we got a massage place. If you do any service that could one day be in the airport, then you can check both of them. But for right now, you're just going to check DBE. All of this information here is demographic information, the name of your company, your phone number, and all of that. When they get down to B and it says, has your company ever been denied a certification or decertified somewhere? For many of you, the answer is no. Have you ever withdrawn an application at any level? The answer for you is going to be no. In the business profile, you can have this typed up or put somewhere, but just make it brief. But they don't need war and peace in here. Like I heal all the land from all the sicknesses since, no, they don't need that. I do A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and these are my products and these are my services. 2 or 3 sentences. You could even do bullets if that makes your life easy. But that's what your business profile is. And you have the option of entering up to about 6 or 7 NAICS codes. Always make your primary NAICS code the first one. So you'll get all the other ones and put them in here. I encourage people that even if you're like, well, my business is doing this now, but we could also do like this 1 or 2 more adjacent things. Put that in early. Because if you go back and you increase the amount of things you offer after you get certified, you have to write a justification letter and provide so much more additional information. So don't put 100 of them in here at first if you're not doing 100 things. But if you do 5 and it's 2, 3, 4 more things that you could possibly do, put them in now. When were you established? Are you a for-profit? Everybody knows certifications are not for profit businesses. Your tax ID number, choosing your legal structure. You all have been in business and know better, so you know what your legal structure is. The number of full-time, part-time, and seasonal employees. When you do this electronically, if you don't have part-time and you don't have seasonal, you're just going to have to put 0. That's okay. If you are the only person working in your business and you're working at part-time, it's 0 for full-time, 1 person for part-time, 0 for seasonal. Then they're going to ask for your gross receipts for the last 5 years. Start with now, 2024, and then you'll go backwards. That's how you enter it in the system. So it'll be 24, 23, 22, so on and so forth. Sonia, I've only been in business for 2 years, then just put 24 and 23. Sonia, I just started my business in January, then you'll put 24, 23, 22, but you're going to put zeros in there for gross receipts. Notice I'm not even talking about affiliate firms because I looked at a couple of you all's information. I don't believe you are an affiliate firm. That's if you've got an umbrella company and this is one of the companies under the umbrella. So I know I went kind of fast, but the key is if you've had no money, if you're brand new, you're going to put in the 3 years with all zeros. If you're less than these 3 or 5 years, just put in the number of years you have and then put zeros. Is your firm co-located at any of its businesses or share a telephone number, PO box, or storage, blah, 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 blah. If you're in a work share space, the answer to this question is yes. And then you explain, I'm in a work share space. If you're in your home, the answer is no. And then you just put that in there. If you're in an office building, if you have an office that you lease, no, you are not co-located with another business. Work share locations are considered co-located because when this information goes in with an address, they're going to say, hey, but it's 20 other businesses that are located here. They're not me. I told you in the application, I work in a work share space. Has any other firm had ownership interests in there? Many of you, that's going to be no. All of these questions are yes or no's. Are you a subsidiary? No. Do you have a partnership or in partnership with other firms? No. Do you own a percentage of you owned a percentage of another firm? If you answered yes, you're going to have to explain it. Have you had subsidiaries? Yes, and you have to explain that if you have those. Served as a subcontractor with another firm constituting more than 25% of your firm's receipts? The answer is yes. And it's okay. So let's say you've got 3 projects right now. 2 of them you're a prime. The other one is you're a subcontractor. And when you add up all the numbers, it's 33, 33, and 33. The answer to the question is yes. Those questions do not preclude you from getting certified. They just want to know where's your money coming from. Because if you've only got one contract with one company and that's 100%, you need to explain how this other company does not have control over you. Any questions? Are y'all seeing any questions or anything in the chat? Let me know and I'll slow down.
Yeah.
Okay. So majority owner, that's you. You're going your name, your title, your phone number, all of your demographic information. How long have you owned the company? Your companies don't own stock, but technically you own 100% of the company. So you're going to answer percentage for stock as owned. You're an LLC, so they really won't ask you that question. Then when they ask you about your initial investment, that is the 300 or some odd dollars that you paid to get your business started in Maryland. For those of you all that are certified like in DC or you're certified in Virginia, it's whatever money you've paid to the state of Maryland or whatever money you paid into your initial business to get it started. If you already had, you do landscaping and you already had 2 lawnmowers, it's the $1,000 worth of equipment that you put in there to be able to get your business started. And then how did you start it? I started it from myself. I don't know about y'all. Nobody gave me a business as a gift. I wish they had. But if they did, you got to say where it came from, or if you bought it, or if you inherited it.
Tanya, hold on 1 second. Someone is saying, yeah, there are 3 people own their company and no one has over 51%. So that's
So
what Felicia had.
awesome, Felicia. We're about to get to that part to answer that question for you. If you have any additional owners, are any of those additional owners family relations? If so, you're going to answer this in this section here. Do you, as the owner, have a job? Are you doing a management or a supervisory function in that job? When I started my company, I was working full time for somebody else. And yes, I was a manager on the team that I was on, and I just put that information in there. If you're working but you're not in a leadership role, answer yes. Or I go through the application part just so that you can know there's nothing wrong with your answers. Just understand why they're asking you. So if you have a job and it's 100% ownership by you, that's great. But if you don't have enough of ownership and you're the person who is getting the looking to get the business certified, it could raise a flag, especially if the person is a non-disadvantaged person. Y'all reading my tea leaves? What they don't want is proxy and puppet companies. Does the owner work for another firm, nonprofit, or whatever? Answer that. This question about your personal net worth is going to be a whole nother document that I'm going to take you through in a few minutes. But so we'll skip over that part, number 4, and then we'll come back. Do any of your immediate family members, officers, directors, anybody else have an association with another company? They want to know, is anybody in your family working for a company that could have control over your company?
Mm.
So the answer you put in here is no. But if you are doing, I keep staying in the landscaping lane. If you have a landscaping company and you do work for a Marriott hotel, and your family member works for the Marriott hotel of which you have the contract to do the landscaping, you have to let them know that, because it looks like on paper a quid pro quo. But if you do landscaping, you doing it at this Marriott, and your family member is they work at the front desk, or they're in another role like banquets and catering, they have no control over who does the landscaping contracts. But if they're in procurement or they're a senior leader there, they do have control. So look at the contracts and things that you have. And if you do have a family member or somebody who's working with you, for those of you who have more than one owner, who is in a position of control over the decision making of whether or not your business has work, you have to disclose that. It doesn't preclude you from getting certified, but it's like the bank. If you tell me, I'm fine. If I find out later, it's going to be a problem. For you all that have more than one owner, this is the section where you fill that information in. When you asked about, Felicia says she has 3 owners, nobody owns more than 51%. If all 3 owners, or at least 2 of the owners, are disadvantaged individuals, then you meet the 51%. But if it's you and the other 2 owners don't fall into this disadvantaged category, that could present a challenge of who holds the actual decision-making power in your company. So any additional owners, you have to fill out this sheet for each one of them and answer those same kind of questions that you just answered for yourself. Is that clear?
Anybody have any questions? We good?
Yes.
And I feel like I'm going 100 miles an hour, but the reason why we're not looking at the electronic submission portion, we're going to get there. I just want people to fill this. And when you fill this out, that's why I'm committed. I'll get back on the phone with you when you get online to do it, and I will walk you through the steps. But if you've got the form, If you have the form filled out, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I am rocking and rolling through this application. Yes, because you did your homework first. So now we get down to the control part. If you have a board of directors, most LLCs don't. When you have officers in the company, and for those of you that have more than one person that's owners, you probably are seen as certain levels of officers. So you have to put their name, their title, when they came on board, and their ethnicity and gender. Because remember, they want to make sure that the person or people with the disadvantaged status or meeting the disadvantaged criteria are in operational control of the company and cannot be outvoted by someone who is not. They asked the question again, does anybody on this list have management or supervisory function at another thing? State of Maryland tried to catch you up. So they asked you the same thing. It's like that trick question they ask you, do you still beat your wife? And they're like, wait, how do I answer that? If I say yes, that's absolutely wrong. But if I say no, I'm actually admitting that I used to beat my wife. So yeah, they're going to ask it 3 or 4 different ways just to make sure that you're being totally honest about what's happening. And then this is a part, any company having any type of control over you. This part gets into your, who makes which decisions. If you are a single person, then you're going to circle all the A's or click all the A's for that. You are the one who always sets policy, always does bidding and estimating. Even if you have a person on your staff who does it for you, they can't make the final decision unless you go for it. So you're going to always, you'll pretty much say always. Now that I've got more people making decisions within my company, I'm like, frequently, I am the person who makes that final decision. But basically, it comes down to me. If you have more than one owner who owns less than 51%, you can make copies of this page and fill it in so that you already have the information present. When you do it online, they're going to give you blank slots for as many people as you have to be able to fill that in. And again, does anybody work for anybody else? This next part for equipment shows up here and it shows up in the documents. If you say you have a landscaping company and you don't have any equipment, doesn't that feel weird? Or you can say, I'm a trucking and disposal company, but you don't own any trucks and you're not leasing any trucks. That feels weird. So what has happened in the past is people, because you've got to give balance sheets, profit and loss, you got to give all of that. People are like, oh, I don't have any equipment on the application, but on your balance sheet, you're showing that you have equipment. That's the stuff that slows down your application with MDOT. So whatever you have now, computers, telephones, those kind of basic things, printers and all of that, unless you are a printing company, your basic office equipment, you don't need to call that on here. If you use them in the doing of your work, you can't be a printing company without a printer. You can't be a sign making company without certain things. You can't be a construction company without having certain tools and different things. Let me back up. Pieces of equipment. They don't need your tools. Shovels, spades, buckets. They don't need all of that. They're talking about the big things. So, because they want to know, do you own it? Or does somebody else own it and you're leasing it from them? Because then that person can actually exert control over your company by withholding the equipment that you need. All of these questions are about control. So if you do have that and you have a vehicle, your personal vehicle that you use for your business is your personal vehicle. But if your business has bought a vehicle or you have trucks or you have things that you're leasing and using to do your work, that's what you capture on here. Do you have office space? They've recently changed this one in the last, I'd say 6 or 7 years, because although you might have a home office, they still want to know, do you own it or are you leasing it, i.e. you're in an apartment? And then you just explain. Storage space. This one is also a new one in the last, I say 8 or 9 years, because if you don't pay your storage fee and your equipment is in there to do work, you can't work. Therefore, the storage company can have a level of control over what you are doing. If your trucks are parked on a lot and you're leasing the space on the lot, if for some reason the person dies today or tomorrow and you can't get to your trucks, you can't do business. So they want to know, where is your stuff kept? Does your firm rely on any other firm for management functions or employee payroll? This is referring to your PEOs. What's it? Professional employment organizations. Do you own your people or do they own your people? So if you're using a staffing company or something and they're holding your people, you answer yes, and then you explain. The next couple of questions about banks. So they got 3 or 4 spaces on here. So however many banks you got, just put the names and who is allowed, who it can sign checks. And they're going to be asking for copies of those signature cards. If your company requires bonding, you're going to need to put what's your aggregate limit, what's your project limit, and you're going to have to put a copy of the bond inside the documents. I got a question. Thank you, Cecil. This applies to MBE, DBE, and ACDBE for the state of Maryland. So all of them. This applies to all of the ones that the state of Maryland and the Fed do. Because actually, let me go back up here to the top. Oh, I ain't got to go all the way that far. I can just go here. This form is from the U.S. Department of Transportation. Everything that's in the application is from them. So it's Fed and state. Thank you for asking that. Good question. And we're almost at the end of the application part. So banking, any source of money, credit cards, loans, borrowed it from Uncle Jimmy and you got to pay him back. Whoever you borrowed money from, you need to put what is the source. They have their address. You would typically be the person who's guaranteeing the loan, and then whatever your original amount, current balance, and the purpose of the loan. And you're going to have to provide copies of loan agreements. Contributions to your business. This one's a little bit more flexible. They're looking over the last 2 years. Did you take $80,000 out your business? If you did, why? Did you give Cousin Joe $10,000, $20,000 out your business? If you did, why? Like, Sonia, why they all in my business? Because they need to make sure that you are not paying someone for the holding of the business. You can say, Uncle Jimmy gave me $20,000 loan. The transfer that I did to him was $10,000. That was my payment for the loan for him. Licenses, permits. Different states mean different things. So as you all get this one for Maryland, and those of you who all have CBE for DC and the SWAM for Virginia, different states have different requirements for licenses. Most professional services businesses do not have to have licenses in Maryland. In other states, we do. So if you have to have a license to do your work, you can put that in there. You cannot be a GC company if you don't have your GC license. You can't drive the trucks, you can't do disposals, you can't do any of that unless you have a license. So you have to put that information in there, which states you hold it in and when they're about to expire. For those of you all that don't have these things, these are all going to be not applicable when you get into the application. But at least you have now seen it and you know what you're saying not applicable to. So it says list the 3 largest contracts completed by you in the firm. I get a lot of questions about this. I get folks like, well, Sonia, I did something for my church for $1,000. If that's one of your 3 largest, then put your church in there and put the name of where you did it and what you did and how much it was. I haven't done anything. I just started my business this year. I haven't gotten my first one. Then you're just going to call this section not applicable. You have nothing to add. But for whatever contracts, projects, and things you have done, you need to have an invoice or a signed contract or something that says what this is, what this work was, and then whatever it was, you're going to have to put it in the document. Put it in you'll have an upload space. And then what are your 3 current ones? And so whatever 3 projects you're working on right now, you'll list those. The next page, I don't think any of you all are doing airport concessions, so you should be good there. But this document, the Declaration of Eligibility, page 16 out of the document, you will have to sign this. So print and sign it. You used to have to get it notarized. Thank you that they don't make you do that no more. You just have to sign it and put that as ready of your process. So that's the uniform certification application. Does anybody have any questions about something in your business that you're like, ooh, Sonia, this might be a problem or an issue for me?
No questions? No one have questions for Sonia as far as the process goes? Part of the application?
And I'm thinking a lot of you all that already have some kind of cert, you're not going to have a lot of questions for me because you've already seen this one time.
Mhm.
Where'd my document go? Refresh. There we go. So the next part is the checklist. And these are all of the things that you need to have completed and ready to go. I talked about the application. You don't give them the application, you're going to type it up and fill it in. So, but you do that first. That declaration of eligibility document, I talked to you about that. You're just going to have that signed and scanned into your MDOT certification folder. Proof of contributions. This was when I told you that you need to make sure that whatever money you have and how it got in here to start your business. I still have a copy of the check that I wrote. It said, back I started the business with $250 from my personal account. I kept a copy of the check. Every time somebody asked me for how I got started, here's this $250 check. Your resume. If you've got one, great. If you don't, start writing and let ChatGPT help you as much as it can. But for your resume that you're going to submit for this, your business needs to be the top area on there. You can still have your job, but your job needs to show number 2. Can't tell you how many people I've told this, they didn't listen to me and got their application kicked back because it says you work for McDonald's. Do you really run this business? I feel like, come on, people, it's the next paragraph. Help me, help you, help them. Make your business at the top of the resume. Proof of citizenship is your passport. This concept of a signed passport, back in the day when you signed your passport, that means you were relinquishing it to go to another country. Evidently, now you can sign your passport. I don't think mine is still signed, but that's another story for here or there. Maybe it is now because I've been out the country. I need to look at it because nobody's asked me for it. And we go out the country at least once or twice a year. But they want a signed passport or they want your birth certificate and your government issued ID. Many of you all, I think, are here in the state of Maryland or at least nearby. If you don't have your real ID by now, woe unto you, you need to go get that because they're not accepting the not real IDs as part of this. So they need to be current. Going to skip number 6, the personal net worth statement, because I'm going to go over that by itself. Personal tax returns for the last 3 years. They want them signed. So who here has an accountant? You use an accountant to do your taxes, be it your own company personal accountant, or you use a H&R Block, or you're using somebody else. Get that first page and sign it. Most of us have not signed it because we file our taxes electronically. So just get that first page, put a signature up there, even though it says filed electronically, throw a signature on there. And for the last 3 years. And it needs to be all the pages for the federal only. Do not include your state. They don't need your state stuff. Number 8 is they need your federal business taxes. If you have done only a Schedule C and you don't file a separate business tax, then you can put in just the information from the Schedule C along with the cover page from your taxes that shows a signature. If you own other businesses, you got to put their information in there. You're going to need to provide taxes, articles, all that other ownership information. Year-end financial statements for the last 3 years. Profit and loss, balance sheet. They don't care whether it's cash or accrual, whatever you use, but they need the last 3 years. If you have not filed under your business and you do not have you've been in business less than a year, they want you to include this financial statement, so you can click on that hyperlink and put that information together. How many of you all have employees in your business? Nobody?
I do.
Okay. If you have employees, and I'm talking W-2s that you're paying them consistently, then you need to have your quarterly unemployment tax wage report. So those are 941s. You never remember which number, but you need to show your proof for the last 4 quarters that you have been paying your taxes. If your employees are independent contractors, because people were, kind of getting over on that, you have to provide copies of their 1099s. If you have been taking a draw out of your business, you need to provide that.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't apply to your company, then you're going to write one of Sonia's blanket, what's it called? Not applicable memos. And the not applicable memo is like you just take a Word document, you put your logo up in the corner, put the date, and the subject line is what they're asking for. It's like quarterly state, subject line, quarterly state unemployment tax report. My company does not have any employees that are W-2s. We do not use independent contractors, and I have not taken any draws over the last year. Therefore, this request is not applicable, and you're going to sign and upload that document.
Okay, Sonia, did you see the other question? I might have missed it. Does this form apply for MBE only applications?
Yes, that's what I answered earlier, that,
Yeah.
this is for all of, you have to submit this for all of it, because MDOT is operating under the auspices of the Department of Transportation. Those of you that have CBE because you are in DC, or if you have SWAM because your company is headquartered in Virginia, to get Maryland, you have to add the letter from the state that you came from that says you are certified in that state. DC does not have reciprocity with the state of Maryland, but they have acknowledgement with the state of Maryland. So that's why you still have to upload the documents. When we went to get our one for Pennsylvania asked us, we need you to provide your original application that you provided with the state of Maryland. And let me help y'all. I started my company in 2010. We got Maryland in 2022. We got Pennsylvania in 21 or 22. I couldn't remember what I had for breakfast that morning, much less remember where's all these documents that we submitted. Because remember, I told you we submitted on paper, it wasn't electronic. I ended up having to call Maryland, and they sent me a transcript with all of my original documents that I had submitted in there. So that's why I wanted you to create these folders so you can keep these documents, because other states may ask you for all of that initial proof that you provided. Copies of licenses and permits, copies of bank signature cards. I told you about loans and leases and everything else, that money that you've given people. You need to make sure you upload those. Your list of equipment. If you've been in business less than a year, they want a capability statement or a business plan. Titles and registrations for cars and vehicles, along with business insurance policy. People will say that they have their business, oh, my company owns the car, but on your certificate of insurance, you don't show an auto policy on here, then your company doesn't own the vehicles. So make sure your documentation matches whatever you're telling them. 3 contracts, and if you have a trust. If you're an LLC, you need your articles and you need your operating agreement. So that's all the documents that you're going to load into that folder to be able to do your cert. So let me hit this personal net worth real quick. Most of this is very self-explanatory, but they want this, and I'm gonna give you a tidbit. Update this thing every year and just keep it somewhere. You're gonna need this for loans. You're going to need this for lines of credit. You're going to need this sometimes for contracts, because sometimes even the state of Maryland wants to know your financial health. And your P&W is one of the things that points to your financial health. So when you do this time, make a tickler for yourself. I'm going to do this again a year from now to keep it up to date. But all they want to know is all of your assets, all of your liabilities. That's cash and things that you own, even your 401ks, retirement accounts. Do you own stocks and bonds? What is that? Real estate other than your primary residence. So you have to put all of that information in here. And then property, like do your car, your personal cars. Do you have artwork? Do you have jewelry? What else do you own? Do other people owe you money? You loaned Uncle Joe $25,000 and he's supposed to be paying you back. Then if you intend to get it back, it needs to be on this list. Anything subject to the 2-year transfer rule. This is when people are trying to get assets out of their name. We don't want to do that. And if you own more than one business, because that's becoming more and more popular, life insurance policies that have a cash surrender amount. A term loan means you die, somebody gets a check. Other insurance policies, if you're making money on it, then you need to post it here. Remember, this is about being a disadvantaged business. So they want to know what are all your assets, and then they want to know who do you owe. Credit card, student loan, anything that you owe people, then you need to make sure you put that amount in here. What else? I'm just trying to see, is there anything that's weird? Taxes. Sometimes people might owe taxes, unpaid taxes. You can have unpaid taxes, but you need to be on a payment plan. I believe they will let you get certified, but if you win any states with the contracts with the state of Maryland or anywhere else, then don't expect to get paid if you still owe them taxes. They're going to intercept your money. And don't worry that they're not going to be able to find you. They can find you. They like a dog with a bone, especially trying to keep up with our revenue, what we need for revenue in the state now. But that's the P&W. So inside your folder is going to be this P&W. You can put the checklist and then put all the documents that you have, because this is what it looks like to actually go into the system to register. When you go in the system, you're going to go down to this button right here, apply for certification. Every year, you're going to use this button to submit your annual review. And if anything changes with your company, you're going to submit that here. If your firm is currently certified, then you're not certified, you create an account. And this is the information that you're going to fill in to be able to do your account. And you'll get a username and a password to go with that. If for some reason you like, you know what, Sonia, I think I set this up before. If you did set it up before, then go ahead and do the account lookup to find your information. I've had several people who they started something years ago and they started to go through this process. They never did it, or they gave it to an admin to go in and get it set up. That company is still in there. And then what you have to do is reclaim the ownership of it.
Okay, Sonia, hold on one second. There's a question. Do you have to be financially disadvantaged if there is a maximum for your net worth? Is there a maximum for your net worth?
There is not. There is a maximum thank you for asking. There is a maximum of net worth to meet the disadvantaged threshold. I want to say that's almost like $2 million. So when you add up all your assets and take away all your liabilities, if it's greater than that magic number, my throat, excuse me. Let me go here. if you're greater than the magic number for and I'm not going to find it fast enough because I'm also looking at the clock. It's 1:57. If you exceed that number,
Someone put in there that it's 2 million. Someone put that is.
that's what that was the number I remember, because they've increased it. Because it used to be lower than that. That if you, maximum for net worth is $2 million. So if your net worth is more than $2 million, I make a great roommate if you're looking for somebody to come and share your wealth with. But if not, you just keep on doing what you're doing. You can still be MBE, but you will not be DBE, which is one of the things that really helps you qualify for some of the projects and the set asides inside projects for things like Key Bridge and some of the work that's there. But nothing's wrong with that. You can at least get your MBE status that's managed by the state, even if you don't get the DBE. So yeah, but that's adding in, do your P&W. If you think you're close to that, do the P&W part first, your personal net worth, and see what the number is. And then you can fill in all of the other application forms.
Okay.
So overall, how are you all feeling? Like, 25%, I'm not ready to do this at all. 50%, I think I'm ready. I just need to answer some questions. I'll jump all the way to like 80%. I think I know what to do now. I need to get my documents in order. And as soon as I do that, I'll be ready to submit. Or 100%, meaning, oh, I got this. I'm off to the races. Where y'all landing? Give it to me in the chat where you think you're landing. Yep, got a couple of 80s, got a couple of 25s. Okay, I see you all. So Renee has my contact. So let me stop. I'm going to drop down these things and go back to my presentation. Really, the get organized is what I covered. I also showed you briefly about how to get online and, I said personal network. It should have been net worth, sorry. I showed you all what you're going to need when you get ready to get online. And then once you do get started and get yourself under control, you put your information in right now. This bullet right here, I want to draw your attention to. Document the date that you submit, and don't ask MDOT where your stuff is for at least 90 days. At least don't even think about asking, because they don't know who you are. It will take them almost 90 days to send you a receipt that says, we have your application. And then it might take another 30 days that we have your application and it's been assigned to someone. Once it's been assigned to someone, you can say, hey, to that person, hey, my name's Jamar. Thanks so much for the, I see you got my application. If you need anything, give me a call. You may or may not get an answer, but at least you become a tickler in their file. So if you all get to the point where for this Key Bridge project where you need to get your DBE, MBE to get the contract, call the office and you tell them, hey, I've got a contract pending with XYZ company, or my company can be a prime on a contract, but we need to get this done. And then if you're a sub, have the prime company reach out and make a phone call on your behalf. We got ours in about 4.5 months. Now, remember, this was 15 years ago. We got about 4.5 months because there was a prime that wanted to work with us. And we called them and the prime called them. And in less than 30 days, we had our letter.
And so they are still doing, if I can jump in, they're still doing that. When we had the meeting with Kiewit, and we had a meeting, and we also had another Key Bridge client that was trying to do the same thing. And that's what their person told them. Let us know when if you're having any problems, then we will jump in and we will make a phone call to MDOT to kind of help you go through. So I know that is something that they are doing if you're going to be on the project of the rebuild of the Key Bridge.
Awesome. I'm glad they're still doing that. I'm going to give Renee a copy of my slides. So you can go, that's our phone number, my email address. For those of you all that are at about the 80%, even though I don't care where you are, 25, 10, 95, if you're like, Sonia, can you at least help look over my stuff and let me know that I'm on the right track? I really like it when people call and say, I'm ready to do this. And what we'll do is block out an hour and I sit online and you share your screen and I watch you go through the application process to make sure that you're getting it done. Because when you run, we're business owners. When you run into questions, you're like, all right, well, let me put this aside. I'm gonna come back. And before you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, April, May, June is going by, and you haven't finished it. I would like to be online with you all so we can answer those and just keep pushing through to the next one to get it done. So that's all I got. I went over by 2 minutes. I'm not going to apologize. Hopefully it was good information. And if you need something, call. You can reach out to Renee if you don't get a chance to get my information, or if you get this, you can reach out to me directly. I would ask that you copy Renee on there because this is under the Build Back program, and want to make sure that they are keeping account of how we're helping people be able to get through, because we want this resource to be around. And at the end of it all, tell a friend,
Mm-hmm.
tell a friend, and so that they can get in and get the same information that you're getting.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much, Sonia. This has been very, very, very well received. I'm seeing some of the information in the chat. Again, we are here for this process to continue to support you. You've heard it from Sonia. You heard it from Ken and myself. You know, we want to make sure that we can do whatever we can to continue to help your business succeed and to grow. So if you're at that 20%, to Sonia's point, if you're at that 80%, whatever you are, you know, I put my information and telephone number in the chat for the Key Bridge. Contact us and let us know so that we can continue to support you through this process. Okay.
Awesome.
And so I know that we are actually over our time. So I just really wanted to let you know one thing as far as the announcement. September the 15th, CMSDC will be having their golf tournament. If you are interested in participating in the golf, or you want to do a golf clinic, that is also available. Let me know. Put some information in chat or send me an email. If you're willing to or wanting to sponsor to get your company noticed or get advertisements for you, it is a great opportunity for you to do that as well. And I think some of it is as low as $300 for your sponsorship. That will be a whole sign, and you will have corporate members and certified MBEs that will see your whole sign as they go around. So if you have any questions about any of that, give me a call. The next thing that's coming up for the Build Back will be in September, and we are going to do what we call the Bail series, and that is going to be talking to you about banking, accounting, investment, insurance, and lawyers. So just being able to understand that. It is going to be on a YouTube channel, so therefore you will be able to watch it at your leisure. After that, in the month of October, we will be doing like a panel for those that Bail series, to kind of give you an idea, an opportunity, like we did here at Sonia, to ask those questions about any part of those sessions that you saw. Also in October, we will be having the opportunity with Baltimore City. So we'll have a big session with Baltimore City. Oh my God, I forgot. September the 10th, I just jumped at Harbor Bank. If you're interested in doing, Harbor Bank will be having a financial wellness Wednesday for all Key Bridge, for all businesses. If you're interested in that, you'll be getting the email on that as well. Come and learn. It's from 4 to 5:30. They'll have refreshments for you. You'll be able to talk to the bankers about all kinds of different things to support your business. So I'm speaking fast because I'm a person who kind of likes to stay on time. And we tell you an hour, we want to keep it as close to that as possible. So if you don't have any other questions for Sonia, Ken, or myself, thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon.